This is the Brisbane Lions Big Footy Podcast. I'm Keags, and joining me tonight is Jess Wuetschner of the Brisbane Lions. Let's do it. All right, Jess, thanks for joining me tonight. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm pretty well, thanks. Yourself?
Very good, thanks. So, as I said before, thanks for joining me. Tell us what you've been up to now. I understand that you're playing for Cooperoo in the local Queensland comp.
Yeah, playing for the Cooperoo Kings at the moment in the local competition down here and
Yeah.
really loving it. Great bunch of girls and just,
Yeah.
trying to get as much work in as possible and save that money.
Yeah, nice one. And have you got some fellow Lions at the club there?
Yeah, we have quite a few of the girls there. We've got Captain Emma Zilke, Britt Gibson, Ali Anderson, and Kate Deegan and myself. So, yeah, there's a few of us there.
And sounds like a pretty handy team. How are they doing overall?
Yeah, we started the year a bit inconsistent, but I think we've really found our form. We've won 4 straight now, so
Yeah.
I think when we come together as a team, we're a pretty good side and can probably go up against the best, which at the moment is Yeronga.
Oh, nice one. And I see on the ladder there you've kicked a few goals, so haven't lost your goal kicking touch, obviously.
No, it was good. I had a few games where I got a few more on the board, and then just trying to do my bit for the team and running through the midfield a little bit as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
Nice one. Can you tell us how you came to be a Brisbane Lion? Like, you were from WA originally, so how did you get on the Brisbane books?
Yeah, so in 2015, when I played with the Western Bulldogs in the exhibition matches, Craig Sarsfitch was the coach there. And he sent me a text out of the blue one day when all this went down saying that the AFLW competition was going to start and just said, fancy coming up for a stint in Brisbane. And I didn't really think too much of it at the time. And I guess I was at a point where I felt like a change and needed to get out of Perth. And I hit him up and said, is that offer still on the table? And he said, yeah, no worries. And yeah, it went from there.
Nice one. And I suppose a year down the track, how's that panned out for you? You happy with that move and how it's all gone?
Yeah, absolutely. I know it sounds cheesy, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And not only am I loving, the Brisbane Lions, I guess, season and everything we did there, but I'm loving Brisbane as a whole. So, yeah, it's been really good.
Nice one. Well, yeah, let's talk about the season as a whole and I guess the experience of being involved in the first year of AFLW. Can you tell us what it was like? Because it got so much media attention, it was so popular. Tell us what it was like being at the forefront of that.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising how, I guess, big it was. I didn't quite expect it to be quite the media bonanza that it was. I guess we're pretty lucky here in Brisbane. Like we saw things on Facebook, Twitter, those sorts of things, but we didn't see too much in the papers.
Yeah.
I guess it was good for us. We had that avenue to sort of stay away from any, I guess, negative media attention. But yeah, it was pretty, I guess, surreal to be, a part of this thing that was making such a noise in
Yeah. We had Dan Merritt on the show earlier in the year, and he's obviously one of the coaches. He spoke about you guys, you were written off earlier in the year and you used that underdog status to sort of motivate you a bit. Is that how you felt as well as a player?
Yeah, definitely. I think that for us, we were doing just as much work as, or if not more than some of the other clubs, and we knew that we had a really good team, and for them to kind of write us off before they'd even seen us play or anything like that was a huge motivation for us to really show them that you can't, I guess, underestimate the Brisbane Lions, and it's something that we took week in, week out. Even when we were winning, we still use that as motivation.
Yeah. And the season obviously eventually resulted in us getting a grand final. It was supposed to be played at the Gabba, but it didn't turn out that way. Was that disappointing for you not to get that game at home in the Brisbane heartland where you could have got, a pretty sizable crowd in?
I guess it was, because for us, the Gabba is our home. We haven't trained on there or anything like that, but we did all our gym work there. It's a home of the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
So yeah, that part was disappointing, but I think that once we got the decision, we just turned our heads to the game. We had a pretty awkward, I guess, lead up to the game where all the grounds were closed. We couldn't train at proper grounds because of the rains and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess that in itself took our minds off where it was. But
Yeah.
to be fair, 15,000 people at a home grand final that's, an hour down the track is pretty amazing. And, we've got some really great supporters.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't the result that we wanted in the grand final, losing by a goal. Can you tell us a bit about that game? No doubt you guys have had a bit of time now to reflect on the grand final.
Yeah, I guess I use it in my analogies. It was the best and worst day of my life all in one.
Oh, no.
But I think that for us, it hurt and it still does hurt, but it does build that hunger again to go better. And for me personally, I was on the bench in the last sort of 3 or 4 minutes in the game, and there's nothing you can do when you're sitting there, but just trust in your teammates to, I guess, get over the line. But it just wasn't our day, and that was for a number of reasons. And things happen in footy, and sometimes you got to lose a game. So yeah, still disappointed, but excited for the future that we have at the club.
Not to make excuses for you guys, but do you think the whole, will it be at the Gabba, won't it be at the Gabba, was that something that might have distracted you a bit? Because, I mean, it would have been hard because you guys would have all been trying to, get your family and stuff sorted to watch the game, and you didn't even know where you're playing until like a couple of days out. Do you think it was a bit of a distraction that might have factored into how you guys played in the end, or?
Possibly. For myself, not really. My family basically said straight up, don't worry about where it is, don't worry about us, we'll get there, just think about the game. So for me, I didn't really think of it like that or see it like that, but, it probably did have an effect on some of the players, but at the end of the day, we just weren't good enough on that day, and, that's just how footy goes sometimes.
And do you think that'll be a big motivating factor for the women next year? So close, but not to get there in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think so. I think that it's going to be a large majority of the same squad. We've retained 18 players, and there's probably still a few that have been, I guess, delisted that are still on the radar. So we're going to have a really good core group of the girls that have been through that already, as well as some really good young players, and obviously the couple of girls coming up from Carlton as well. So
yeah,
I guess having that core group with that motivation, and the new girls, I guess, probably want to come out and perform as well. It's going to be really exciting for our future.
Just touching on the new girls, so it's Nat Exxon and Bella Eyre. Do you know much about them? Have you had much to do with them yet, or are you still yet to meet them?
Haven't met them yet. I am quite a big fan of both of them as players. I thought that before Nat, I think she broke her foot in the third or fourth game or something like that, was a really important player for Carlton, and she works herself around the ground, and her physicality is really impressive. And with Bella Eyre, she was just getting better and better by each game, and I'm sure she's going to fill that hole of the key forward that we're going to need now after losing Taylor.
Yeah, so obviously Taylor was the one that we lost for them. Was that something that caught you by surprise when she asked to move on? She was a pretty central part of, I guess, the marketing side of things as well, and like the face of Brisbane. So I think some of the fans were probably a bit surprised by that one.
Yeah, I think the fans were. I wasn't personally. I obviously spent a lot of time with Taylor, and knew that she, I guess, probably wasn't overly happy. Not necessarily at the club. She loved the club, but just I guess in Brisbane, and I think she needed a change. And she came and she told me before I got out in the media, and I told her that I understood, because for me it's the same thing that I did when I was in Perth. I got
that's right.
And turn them down to come over here. So not surprising for me, but I wish her all the best.
You're just going to have to kick a few more goals next year to make up for a loss.
We'll it'll be a challenge, but I'll see what I can do.
Last question before I let you go. So it was mooted in the paper last week, I think, that the Lions could potentially sell a game to Tasmania. So do you want to just explain to the listeners your connection to Tasmania and what it would mean for you to possibly play down there?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Hobart. First 21 years of my life I was living there, and it's obviously quite a small place, so I guess the whole state sort of feels like family.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of games down there, and I've played at I guess I don't know what it's called now. It's York Park, but up in Launceston, played there before, and
Yeah.
I guess for me, Tasmania's always been like really supportive. There's a huge female football support base down there, and I think that they have the passion and everything like that. And for me to play down there in front of not only my home crowd, but Brick Gibson as well,
Yeah.
And things like that, I think that would be not only fantastic for female footy, but also for us and the Brisbane Lions to, I guess, try and expand our support base.
Yeah, it'd be terrific. Hopefully it gets off the ground. Jess, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thanks so much for your time and all the best for the next season and the rest of this year with the Queensland footy as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.